Alright, so welcome back, guys, and welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with One Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm giving you guys my review for the first half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. Now, after Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. There to miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So, like I said, we've reached the first half of Season 6, and I gotta say, compared to the last two seasons, this is definitely an improvement. I don't think there has been a single episode like last season. There are, of course, the haters who are still gonna nitpick this, and I've seen it all over, saying that episode 3, Alaska, was a season 5 level episode, along with episode, I think it was 5, with Dwight and Sherry was another season 5 episode. I do not agree with that. Yes, they are probably some of the more weaker episodes, but I do not believe they're anywhere near the level of season 4 or 5. I think this is definitely a strong season, and unless they really f up the second half, this could definitely be one of the best seasons. I know people think that season 3 or say season 3 is the greatest season of the show. Personally, I have a lot of issues with season 3. I might do an entire video based on that. But yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be one of the strongest seasons. We got some interesting new characters like Dakota, really great there. Great actress as well. A lot of times you'll get these young actresses and they aren't that great, but I feel like the actress who plays Dakota is a pretty good actor. You got some of the newer characters introduced, like the guy that helped Morgan in the first episode. He was pretty good. A lot of the time these were one-off characters in these episodes, but overall I did like it. We got one of our characters from last season that worked with Logan back in this season. I love that, and that's one of the things I've been praising the new showrunners for doing ever since they took over in season 4. Yes, they've done a lot of bad things, but one of the things I think they've done gratefully is that they will introduce these characters that will stick around for a few episodes and actually become reoccurring characters within the show. It started with Sarah and Wendell back in season 4. They've stuck around up until now. Then last season, who did we get last season? We had the kids who were there for a bit. Even though they weren't big characters, they were at least there. We have Grace, who continued over to this season and is a big main character. You have Rabbi Jacobs, who was brought in last season. He returned. Janice, even though she died in one episode, she returned. Like, I love that. This is one of the things that I think the new showrunners have done great compared to the Dave Erickson seasons, where they'd introduce these characters and then they show up in one, maybe 2 episodes, and then they'd be killed off or we'd never see them again. We saw that with that chick from the plane. She was in 2 episodes, then disappeared. The pirates were there, then they disappeared. That dude that Nick rescued to help Strand back in season 2, he showed up but then disappeared. Season 3, there was that dude that helped Daniel. I don't even remember his name. And that chick from the dam, they were there but only survived a few seasons. And then they got like a one-off death with that dude who helped Daniel. Like, they didn't really do a good job there. Even the Otto family only lasted 1 season, all of them, which is very frustrating. And so, like I said, they have done a lot of great things here. Love what they did with Rabbi Jacobs so far this season. I really hope we get to see more of him. He's one of my favorites of the recurring character. I like how they incorporated him into the story. Janice was another big introduction, and yes, she's a reoccurring character, but we actually did get a death so far this season from our group, which was nice. I really like that. And I know there are people arguing, saying that there were more references than to Idiot Tom last season than there have been to seasons 1 through 3 in Madison. And now, okay, yes, I recognize that is something that is true. However, the references to Tom make sense. They actually they're brought in there at good points of the story and don't feel forced. I feel like if you want to put in, like, yes, I know people want to have references to the early seasons, want references to Madison, but don't, like, force them in. Don't, like, push them just so you can have references. That's always been my biggest thing. You don't push references in unless they're absolutely, coherent and realistic. Whereas the references to Tom, who was stupid last season, yes, Yes, he was more referenced to than like the early seasons, but the reasons he was referenced to was realistic. Him being brought up was realistic as to Janice and her relationship with her brother. It makes sense. And then we got references in the Sherry and Dwight episode to Negan and All Out War. And this is another thing I really liked. These references were done great. They were subtle. They didn't spoon feed you the whole All Out War stuff. They subtly mentioned it so fans of the main show who watch this show understand what they're talking about. And people who might not have watched the main show will go, ooh, what's that? And maybe go check that out. Even though most likely people probably watching Fear are still people who watch the show, and I doubt people who are watching Fear haven't seen the main show. But that's beside the point. But we did get a good mix up with our characters. We got some good back and forth with June and Sarah. I like that dynamic. It was very short in the beginning, but I did really like that dynamic between the two of them. And it was definitely something new. Again, I really love when they put these two characters together that haven't had screen time. You brought in Luciana there, who didn't do much screen time either, but it was still good to see these characters work off each other. We got probably Wes was probably one of the characters that we saw the least amount of, because pretty much he was just hurt and laying on the ground for the most of the episode he appeared in. So compared to the main characters, he's probably the least amount of screen time we've seen this season compared to Grace. But that's all right. I hope we get more of him next in the second half. We did get some of Daniel. There wasn't much of Daniel, but I think what we got with Daniel is pretty good, and I feel like it's hinted at least that he is helping Morgan right now. I don't know how, and I hope we get to see more of that in the second half, but I do like that. And yeah, I feel like, actually, now that I think about it, we do see in the trailer coming up that Daniel and the rest of the people from Morgan's group are in a lineup, and we see Daniel being held at gunpoint, and there's a gash of blood coming down from his head. So I'm kind of curious as to if Virginia finds out that Daniel's helping him. That'd definitely be a very interesting storyline to go through. But yeah, we got some of Daniel. I really liked how he played that whole thing where he pretends not to know his people and his group. Really smart thing there. I know I saw a lot of people talking about how Daniel's this smart guy. He fought in war. He's gonna go in there and kill Virginia. And I'm just like, Daniel's smart. He's cunning. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play this game. He's not gonna just go in there and slit Virginia's throat. All her people will be after him. He knows how to play the game and wait things out. He knows these things. So I like how they're utilizing Daniel in that matter. He's not going to go into that kill mode and just slaughter her throat. Like, that's just not going to happen. You got Strand back to his ways this season. Really great stuff with him in episodes 2, 4, and 7. Or 6. That was really good there. John Dory's episode is pretty great as well. Probably one of the best of the season. And I love how they took each one of these characters' stories and in each episode put them in these areas where they slowly had their own transformation on where their journey took them under Virginia's rule. You saw under her rule, John slowly became angry and saw that this place was not safe and didn't like where it was. Through the help of Janice. Really great stuff there. Really love that. Then you got to see how things affected Charlie and Alicia after Strand betrayed them. Great stuff there, and how you got Alicia and Strand's relationship very strained at this point. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to fix that. And I'm kind of curious as to if Strand will die, if he's redeemable at this point. Can that relationship be fixed? That's something I'm very curious about. And I'm very worried because I feel like if they end up becoming on opposite sides of things and Strand might have to die, how will fans react to that? Because I feel like fans might get angry about Strand and Alicia being on opposite sides. We'll just have to see how that turns out. But again, then you'd see how it affected June and how she wanted to help people, and she saw Virginia as being that way to help people, even though some of the other people with her didn't totally agree with her. Again, I really love how that affected people. And again, then you go to Al and Dwight, and they had a great story too. And I love the dynamic between the two of them, and I feel like the fact that they were both had loved ones that they were looking for, people they cared about that they were looking for, helped that their bond and their relationship within the episode that they had, Alaska. That was a great episode in my opinion. I know people don't like that one, but I really loved their bond there. It was very well done. Again, they had great chemistry between the two of them. That could be done by the actors, but I feel like the story also had an impact on them. And then you got Dwight and Sherry once they're reunited. And I love, again, how these characters split up in different areas. Strand saw that he needed to take his own journey to take down Virginia. So he had to separate from Alicia and Charlie, so he didn't drag them down the road that he needed to go down to. And then you had Sherry, who had her own way of wanting to take down Virginia, and she had to disconnect with Dwight because she didn't want to drag him down because she saw that he had changed, and she didn't want to drag him down that same road back to the person he used to be. Great stuff between those two characters, and I love how they paralleled each other. Maybe it's just me thinking that, but I really loved how they paralleled well with each other. And then you got Morgan, who was out throughout the series, in and out, tracking our people, doing his own thing. Really great stuff there. Had some great, again, I think the best Morgan part was in the beginning when he had Emil hunting him down and how he killed Emil. Great stuff there, and I love how he took his clothes and his weapon. Great stuff, and I've stated this many times. A lot of the stuff I've already stated in my reviews, but I love how he took his clothes, because I feel like taking his clothes is another symbol of his transformation from, as he said, the old Morgan being dead, and there's a new Morgan now. So I really like that. Morgan being in and out of the story also helped, in my opinion, make these episodes not feel total bottle episodes. And yeah, I feel like these were solid episodes. A lot of them did great. Yeah, you have the mystery with the spray painters, with the whole, the end of the world is the beginning, or whatever. I forget what the full phrase is. So yeah, I really am enjoying this season. Again, very, very, very great stuff, and I love how they wrapped up the season, the first half of the season. Yes, episode 7 wasn't intended to be the mid-season finale. However, it really, in my opinion, did deliver on what a mid-season finale should be. And I really loved how it set up Morgan's gathering most of his group up and bringing them to his new camp. Great stuff there. And I'm so excited to see what goes on when we return. But definitely really great stuff. Love how they left things off with the as in the mid-season finale. Great character development for these characters. And yes, we didn't get much for some characters, but I think it leaves the door open to develop some other ones even more. I'm very interested to see what happens with these spray painters. We know that they have something in that submarine that they want, so that's something very interesting to see. And with Dakota now being with Morgan and his people, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Virginia moving forward. As Strand said in the beginning of episode 7, that the antagonist is its most dangerous when it's unpredictable. So I feel like we're at that moment right now. So I'm very excited and very interested to see what happens in the second half. Again, not sure how deaths will go this season. I do feel like we'll probably get another one, maybe 2, but I'll maybe talk about that more in my death prediction video coming up in a couple of weeks. And also on the topic of Fear the Walking Dead, I also want to mention that it has been confirmed that it has been renewed for a 7th season, which is great news considering this has been a great season so far. Unless, like I said, they F up the second half, this will probably be one of the best seasons. So definitely excited for that, and definitely really enjoying the season so far. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about this season in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Fear the Walking Dead, the first half of season 6. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That would miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is linked in the about section of my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here at Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.